a little introduction. We got to let people in from the.
Okay.
I'll start and then hand it over to you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start admitting people. I see John Alley and Craig and Steve Fort. Hi.
I guess we're the keeners.
You hopped on early. Oh, and there's Brian. Hi, Brian. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Craig.
Good morning, Max.
How are you?
Good. Just ran in from seeing Patricia and Al just now. So
Happy?
yeah, so I'll call you after this meeting because I got to talk to you because things got changed for tomorrow.
Oh.
So what's the plan here? We're gonna have Todd is gonna be our starting guru, moving on to Max. I can jump in every now and then.
Yep, I have the introduction ready.
Good.
Just
And
gonna.
Lisa, you're a key component in here too, right? So
Well, I was just gonna see if a couple more people came on, and there's two more. It's 10. Do you want me to start, Todd? Oh, hi, Pierre.
good morning, everybody.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We are going to introduce you to our CCTI program. It is the Canadian Certified Tile Installers, and it was developed by our Education Committee. It was spearheaded by Max and Todd, who are here to present for us. Todd Villikis is TT Max's current president and the global product manager at Schluter Systems. He's been a part of the hard surface industry for many years. Max Poulin is the current chair of the Education Committee and a contractor in the Calgary area with Mountaintop Surfaces. Without their countless hours of volunteer time, we would not have been able to launch this program. Thank you both for all the time and effort you've put into this. As the presentation goes along, if you have any questions, please note them in the comments and we'll go over them when we're finished. I will let Todd and Max take over now.
Thanks, Lisa. Way we're going to do this today is there's a PowerPoint presentation that I'll go through. Lisa will be recording the PowerPoint, and it'll be posted on the TTMAC YouTube channel so that other people can watch it after this presentation. So if somebody that you know would like to know more about the CCTI program, please direct them to the YouTube channel. Okay. So as Lisa mentioned, if you have any questions, please put them in the notes section, and we'll deal with those after the presentation is completed. So before I get started on the PowerPoint, I just wanted to mention how this whole and why this program has been created. Is years ago, we were trying to come up with more member focused activities. So we went around, did a survey of contractors and suppliers who make up our association to find out what it is that they want the most. And one of the biggest comments that we got, the number one thing that our members asked for was both training and certification. So, you know, the old saying, how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time, we decided to start with our online training program, which was been completed to a certain extent. And then we took the next bite out of the elephant, which is the certification. So the certification is here the reason being is that when we talked to the people in the market, nobody knew how good an installer was unless they carried with them some sort of reputation. So, you know, I know that John is a good installer because of his reputation and his history, and I know John. Other than that, there's no way of distinguishing one installer from another, because there's no certification to say that this installer is good, or this is, you know, has reached a certain level of capability. So we thought we'd start with a program that tests the knowledge and ability of tile installers, and if they hit a certain level, they would be then considered a certified tile installer according to the TTMAC. So that's what this program's about. This is where and why we came up with the program. So let's get started on the PowerPoint, and I'll explain the program in a little bit more detail. The Canadian certified are the participants that want to get certified are going to be tested on both their knowledge and their ability. So and I'll get into those two tests a bit later. It's open to anybody. At first, we were discussing whether or not we should have prerequisites, so many years and this and that, and it'd be so difficult for us to establish history of experience. So we just said, look, we'll just leave it open to anybody that wants to take the test. And obviously, if they don't have experience and they don't have the ability, they'll fail. And so there's no prerequisites. Anybody that passes the written and the hands-on portion will receive a certificate. They'll be listed on our website. They'll have a unique number that identifies them as a CCTI member. And after a while, we expect that there's going to be a community of these installers that have passed and are CCTI certified. So the first step is to do the written online test. So this tests the knowledge of the participant, or that it's going to be taking the CCTI test. It's a 2-hour basically written exam of 100 questions, and this tests their knowledge of the tile installation based on the TTMAC tile installation manual and the tile installer's technical handbook, both of which are supplied to the participant. And it is an open book test. They do it from the comfort of their own home. So there's very little stress involved. They can look up the answers in the manual. But like I said, you got to get through the 100 questions in the assigned 2 hours. So step 2, once the written test is passed with a 75% passing average, there's a hands-on tiling challenge. This tiling challenge is there to see how well they install tile. And again, according to the TTMAC installation manual and the requirements of the tile industry. They have to have a passing average of 75% or higher. And they basically tile what you see in the image there on the left is a 3 foot by 3 foot sort of mock shower, 2 walls, a niche, and a curb. And the tile, that is standardized tile, is a 12 by 24 inch rectified edge porcelain tile. And there's metal profiles to be installed on the edges to finish the niche and the edges of the tile and the walls. The mortar will be supplied, and they can bring their own grinders, but wet saws and tile nippers are not allowed in the tiling challenge. The tile installer basically has a pretty nice space, 10 foot by 10 foot space to do his work in. So there's room for supplies and cutters and tools and so on. And there's also, excuse me, a space provided for all the participants in the hands-on for mixing thin set and doing their cuts and whatnot. So the tile installers have 6 hours to complete the installation, and an incomplete installation is an automatic failure. So they have to finish in the allotted 6 hours. We have trained evaluators that will evaluate the installation both during the installation and also after the installation is complete. During the installation, they'll be looking for things like are they wiping the back of the tile for any dust, that sort of thing, and do they show up with proper tools to the challenge and things like that. And then after the installation is completed, as you can see in the middle picture there, that the tile is removed off of one wall to see what kind of coverage was achieved. Did they do directional troweling and so on and so forth. So the evaluators have a checklist of things to look at. So from one challenge to the other, we'll probably have different evaluators. Well, not probably, we will have different evaluators depending on the geographical areas. And the checklist is a way to keep things consistent from one challenge to the next. The evaluators will also be taking photos of each installation, so that if for example we don't get good coverage and the participant loses points and maybe even doesn't pass because of that, then there's evidence as to justify the why they didn't pass and how they can do things better. Most of the evaluators, or I should say not most, all the evaluators across the country are made up of installers that have passed the CCTI course. And we're always looking for additional evaluators to add to our group. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about the host. So there are the people that are taking the course, which is great, but they have to do it in a facility. And since we're a national association, we have to have this available across the country. So we need to partner with existing TTMAC members that can provide the physical space, facility to host an event. So we have certain requirements for the host, that they have to have space dedicated for the day, ability for electricity, water, cleanup, so that when the tests are completed, that there's a place to dispose of all the tile and the board and so on, and some people, staff to help facilitate the event, which is required. They supply coffee and lunch, which is, you know, basic donuts and coffee for the break, and sandwiches for lunch. And then they're also responsible to a certain extent to find the installers to take the course. So they need to promote the event to their market area. So what do we do to support the host? The TTMAC will provide a checklist and timelines of things to do before the event. We send a representative of the TTMAC to the facility for the test to help facilitate things, help the host promote the event. So providing flyers or literature, that kind of thing, and to take the registration as well. The host, being that they're gracious enough to host the event, can show off their brands of product. So they can show off their use their mortars or their tile or whatever the case may be. And we also allow the host to, you know, do a little bit of a presentation on maybe some products that they want to get across to the participants. In a lot of cases, the host will supply the mortar. We encourage the host to explain how the mortar works to the participants, so that they are they know maybe some of the intricacies of mixing the mortar and how much water to use and that kind of thing.
Yeah, great opportunity for the host to showcase some of their product as well.
Exactly. So most hosts will put up, you know, their banners about their company, you know, do a tabletop, show off some of their products, do a swag bag for the participants of different giveaways and things like that. So this is a typical agenda for the day. You know, starting at 7:30 to 8, there's a sign in, there's a setup. The participants can, you know, get their tools brought in and, you know, assign their pods and have a coffee, meet the host. The tiling starts at 8 o'clock for the first 4 hours. There's a mandatory half-hour break for lunch. And then the tiling starts again after lunch and concludes at 2:30. The times could change a little bit, but basically this is sort of the timeline. 2:30 till 3, it's the cleanup, and then the evaluators begin the evaluation process to determine if it's the candidate will pass or not. So one of the big questions we get is, you know, installer says, well, I have all the work that I can handle. Why should I spend a day of my life to get certified? And the answer is manyfold. I don't think there's one specific reason, but there is, I think, a lot of different reasons. And one of the reasons that resonates with me is that, you know, I went to school, I got a diploma that I finished high school. I got a certificate that I finished university. So there is that level of accomplishment. As an installer, I'm not a tile installer. Max, maybe you can speak to this, but I would think that I would want to say, hey, I've reached this level of capabilities as my trade. I have reached the level as an installer that I'm a CCTI. And not everybody can pass the test. Only people that have become accomplished good installers will pass. And therefore, I've achieved that level. And I'm proud to be a CCTI. And when I go to my customers, if I'm an installer that works directly for a project, I could brag about the fact that, hey, I've reached this level of tile installation. If I work for a company, I can say, hey, I'm better than those other guys that didn't pass. And
It's a great proof. It's a great proof of competence.
Exactly. So, why would you want to prove you're competent? Well, you got to have a little bit of pride in what you do, I think, and want to be able to say, hey, I'm a good installer. And I think what'll happen over the next, maybe let's say 10 years is as more and more installers become certified, it's going to basically draw a line in the sand and say, hey, either you're above this line or you're below this line. And if you haven't taken the test, you're going to be automatically put in below the line. And therefore, I think that's a very good reason to take the test. Max, any comments?
Well, I think you pretty much covered it all. Also, in some provinces, there's no structure in place to, just as an example, Quebec and Ontario have a system of apprenticeship and tickets, while some other province, just thinking of the prairies here, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, where there is very, very minimal apprenticeship program in place, the CCTI really becomes something that is handy as far as proving your competence, either to for, let's say, somebody that is an employee working for a company. It's a great point of entry when you start with the company and you have that CCTI card. You can prove your abilities somewhat that way. And same for the contractor. Let's say a residential contractor is one more tool in this toolbox that you can add to all the company training from various other suppliers out there. Yeah, so hopefully the more and more installers become certified, and we're really looking here to create a brotherhood, a community of top-notch tile setters. And yeah, this certification there is a great way to start achieving that.
I know as a homeowner, I had my roof replaced, totally different industry, but I'm looking for somebody to do my roof. I have no idea who's good or who's bad. I'm going by reviews online that could be accurate or may not be. I don't know who's going to be working on my roof. Do they know what they're doing or not? And as a customer, it was kind of scary. So if there was a level of certification that I could ask for as a customer, that would be the greatest thing. And then I'd be willing to pay more money to have somebody up on my roof that knows what they're doing, than rolling the dice. So I think that same sort of scenario applies for tile installers, and it's a benefit for the installer and for the company that the installer would be working for as well. And that concludes the presentation. We could take questions now if there are any.
I did have a question come to me. What is the percentage of failure? We have had at every event at least one person not pass, but I don't know the actual percentage. And what is the big, oh, this one's for Max. What is the biggest detail the installers do that is below standard?
Oh, I would say, surprisingly, what we've been noticing here in the first few challenges is coverage. People really underestimate what their coverage looks like. Participants are aware that we are taking the pods apart when they start the challenge. And yeah, well, what I've been noticing is really its coverage. People don't pull up their towel, don't necessarily go with all the necessary steps to achieve the percentage of coverage we're looking for. Yeah, I would say so far it's the biggest one.
I was surprised too with the amount of people that haven't been using their safety gear too.
Yeah.
So in this picture, you can still see my screen, correct? One of the things that struck me was when we're showing coverage to installers, a lot of installers would think that this kind of coverage is good. And I'm like, no, the trawl marks should be completely compressed and only a few voids here and there. You shouldn't be able to say, hey, you know, he used the 3/8 by 1/4 inch notch trowel because all the trawl marks are still visible. So people's perception, installers' perception of what good coverage is not accurate. And that was the thing that struck me the most from the few challenges I was at.
Another question we have is there any plans in the works to test installers on other aspects of tiling, for example, a dry pack or substrate preparation?
Yeah, eventually there will. But like Todd said at the beginning, we do need, it is an elephant that we need to eat. And so far we took a few bites with the online training and the CCTI. Eventually, yeah, there could be different levels of CCTI. We had to standardize it for, let's say, the level 1. We had to find a structure that was the same and that could be repeated across the country. Once this is all, which we're pretty much there. Once this is all final version, we might, yes, explore different way to test different aspects of the industry to make it a little bit more detailed. This is fairly basic. You know, we remove the prep aspect of the pod due to a time constraint. In 6 hours, or even if it would be a 10-hour days, would be impossible to build a pod, waterproof a pod, tile around it. So yeah, so we figured that all these details could be included in different levels of certification that will eventually come to life.
You know, to just add to what Max said, we need to go one step at a time. And our membership wanted both training and certification. So I think we started with some online training courses. Now we went to certification. Maybe we go and add some more training of some kind and then go back to the certification part. Training was a big thing that our membership was looking for. And I don't know what that training will look like, because the challenge of doing it across the country is enormous. But we're looking at both the training aspect as well as the certification portion.
Oh, that's a good question, Brian. What is it? I would tend to say like 18, something like that.
I think I just did 19. just printed out number 19. So yeah, 19.
Brian's question was how many CCTIs we have at the moment.
They're all listed on the website, www.ccti.ttmac.com. And I just checking to make sure I'm right. We have 19 currently. There's an event on Monday in Toronto, sponsored by Kiesel. There's an event on January 26th in Vancouver, sponsored by Schluter. There's another one by Schluter in mid-November in Toronto. But yeah, if anyone would like to host an event, give me an email, check in.
Oh yeah, that's something worth to mention as well. We do have events that we pre-plan, but if anybody is interested or somebody have a company and wants to certify these guys, and there's enough demand, we can set up an event or certification, if you will, just for all based on numbers.
Yeah, to make the event viable, we need at least 6 people at an event. That's our goal. So we don't want this to be a money losing proposition. So not necessarily a money making proposition either, but we do want to cover our costs. So that number 6 people is the number that we're shooting for. So if a company has 6 people they want to put through, we'll do an event specifically for them.
And at this point, we're pretty well spread across the country with pods a little bit everywhere. So and members a little bit everywhere as well, and TTMac presence in most of the country. So it is fairly easy for us to set up an event if the demand is there.
All right, any other questions? Oh, there's one. What's the feedback so far? So far, it's been really good feedback. We've had lots of testimonials from participants that I'm just putting together now. Everyone seems to have enjoyed it. I think a lot of people were surprised by how challenging it was. Yeah, we just need to keep getting the word out and trying to get more people on the list.
Sorry.
That's a question that I have. How do we get this out to all the tile installers across the country? Like in our company, we've got a lot of installers that are quite excited about getting their certification, because Steve and I are there. We're pushing it, right? But what about just others? How do we get this info to people? Any ideas?
Can I take this? So at the moment we are running Google ads, and those ads are visible to anyone who's searching on the internet anything related to tile.
Oh.
And I believe we got 2 out of the 4 that are coming on Monday with Google ads. So we're trying to spread the word. We have very important key words embedded in the advertisements. So hopefully soon enough, people will just be in a queue at our door.
Yeah, and Craig, we have, we're trying to promote it through social media, through the TTMac emails that goes to members. I get multiple of those. If not, yeah, no, our committee's been talking about the marketing campaign, but being a very niche industry, it's proven a little difficult. But yeah, word of mouth, I think, and social media is where it's going to spread.
If anybody has any other ideas on how to promote this, how to get the word out, we're pretty much all ears. That's the biggest probably the biggest challenge right now is to get the information out to the, call them rank and file tile installers, because I don't have a email distribution list to all those guys. I wish I did, but so if there's any other ideas, that'd be great. We made up banners that we supplied to member companies, especially suppliers, so that they can put up in their warehouses to make people aware of the program. And well, this presentation will be on YouTube, so hopefully the word will get out.
We started a Facebook group.
We did.
So
Is there any incentive for installers? Like obviously the incentive is to be certified, but one question I've heard regularly from installers when I've been promoting this is the cost of it, not if it's just a one-man operation. Thoughts that I've had is maybe vendors can offer vouchers if you pass for products, things like that. I know in the States, if you're a member of the NTCA, you get a voucher from different vendors. I'm not too sure if we do that here with the TTMac, or if you are a certified, if you do pass the test, is there any type of cost savings? Because that is one question I've definitely been asked by a lot of installers. They hear that cost and they're kind of, thrown off a little bit on that right off the bat. And I tell them it's you're spending money to better yourself and promote yourself and get certified. Sometimes that doesn't always translate to them. So that's just kind of what I'm wondering if there's any thoughts on that.
that's actually not a bad idea. We should talk about that some more.
I wrote it down.
I had a good conversation with a young fella that came from out of town. He drove in 5 hours, stayed overnight. Then after the exam, he drove back home. And he's a single operator. He just has a helper in the town that he lives. And so I asked him about becoming a TTMac member. And he was straight up. He said, I don't see the value in that as such a small company. But he says, having this certification, he saw incredible value in it. And so I have a hunch that type of attitude, it will take off, and some of his peers in his town are going to see, oh, he's a certified, and he's promoting it, and they're going to go, how can you be certified? And then the cycle is going to be slow, but he had no problem paying the money, paying the hotel, driving for this long drive. He had no problem investing in that because he saw the value in the being certified.
I agree with you, Craig. I think in the near future, as we get more installers, and if the certified installers promote the fact that they are certified, the ones that are not are now at a disadvantage, and they'll start feeling the need when they feel that they're at a disadvantage. And they'll say, well, I need to get certified too because I lost this job, or I wasn't looked at as a professional because I'm not certified. They'll then want to, but to get the program started, until that pressure is there, giving them vouchers for product or something like that from different suppliers, if we can get that organized, I think that would be a great idea.
That's good incentive, yeah.
Great. Any other questions? All's quiet. On that note, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday. And help spread the word if you can. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Todd, can you stay on? Oh, I just missed him. He just pressed the button when I said that.
Um,
I'll call
That
him.
was, yeah, that was a cool idea, Max, the cost savings. Like coupons for guys who take the course and
Oh,
pass.
yeah. That's the NTC does that just on a membership, I think. Guys
Oh.
end up with like almost like $1,000 sort of vouchers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to NTCA about that and they said they're going through headaches to keep track of vouchers and things. And we discussed it at a board level and we voted against it.
Oh, there you go.
But
Yeah,
maybe
For the
on the
membership, for the membership, for
Yeah.
the CCTI, it's much easier. You just hand everybody a voucher and that's it. It's
Yeah,
way.
especially if the old suppliers are really on board with this.
Yeah,
That could be a really good incentive. Definitely.
yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Max. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
Max,
Yes.
we're having the CCTI here on Monday. I have no evaluator, 0. Alex
Yeah.
is away, so it's just gonna be me and Derek. Derek is from Kizel, he's the supplier. I'm sending him the booklet that Lisa put together, but I just wanted to say if I call you,
Absolutely.
we're in deep trouble and we don't know how to grade something and maybe you pick up.
Can
Oh,
can
yeah,
you do
no.
that by FaceTime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've done that with the RDEC CCTI and we went through all the points that were easy and we could grade them. But if we ran into something that was questionable, then we called Max.
No, I'll make myself available.
Max, you need a new phone if you can do FaceTime, but
Phone, that's my computer. What's wrong
yeah.
with it? Why is it blurry or something?
No. If you were like, say at the job site, they're on the FaceTime with that.
Oh, on my
screen.
phone, yeah, I know.
How are you
My phone had a climbing accident.
There you go. Okay, thanks
Cool.
for your time, Max and Craig.
Thank
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.